Hi Greg, nice of you to join us. So,
this has been a long time coming, isn't it? I was so pleased we finally got to meet each other.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, I know we've chatted a lot over the course of your YouTube sort of journey, and we've helped each other out a bit.
Greg's helped me out immensely, not just a little bit. He's been a huge inspiration and has
mate.
offered me loads of advice, and I really do appreciate it. Now, talking about advice, one of my subscribers, Paul Evans, has recently been broken into and his Jackery was stolen.
Oh, no.
And he asked me if I have a security camera in my van, and if so, how is it powered, and does it need Wi-Fi? I don't have such a camera, but I understand, I do believe you do have a Wi-Fi, so maybe you could answer Paul's question.
Yeah, I think we've featured it once or twice in a couple of our videos, but we use these little NEOS cameras. They work on Wi-Fi. We've got a NETGEAR Nighthawk Wi-Fi device in our van, which gives us a Wi-Fi signal, works on a SIM card. So we've got an EE phone network SIM.
You're the same as me.
Is the same one that you've got, is it?
I saw the video.
Right, okay.
I've got to admit, I copied Greg.
So that gives us Wi-Fi in our van. We can connect up to 20 devices to that. That's on all the time. And then these little cameras connect to that via Wi-Fi. And then this will monitor sound and vision as well. So anything noise it hears, it will trigger it and it will start recording. Or anything visual that it sees through your windows and stuff like that. Obviously that will start recording. And then I'll get a notification on my phone. There's an app on my phone. And then I can see live what's going on in the van, and it also records about a minute of footage. So even if I get a notification and I haven't got back to my phone, I can look at the phone later on and I can scroll through all the incidences. But it's great peace of mind if you're away from the van remotely. You can just keep an eye on it, because you can just open the app and just look at the camera live and just check if it's all still okay and nothing's going on.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Can we have a link for that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Give us a link and I'll drop it down below in the description of this video.
Definitely.
Thank you, Greg.
No problem at all.
I think I'll be getting one of those as well. Sounds like a great bit of kit. And that can actually sense movement outside the van.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work on, what's it called, IP something or other?
It will listen to noise, so any noise that's around, and obviously it will see anything that's going on either inside or outside your van.
Brilliant.
And it also works at night. It's got infrared LEDs on here, so you'll get a black and white night vision as well. And you can also talk back, which is another good feature.
It's got a speaker on it.
So like the Ring camera, you know, like the Ring cameras.
So if someone's outside, you can go, what do you want?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean,
I'd
a couple
love
of
to
times
see someone's face.
Lou's been in the van and getting some bits and pieces and we want to go somewhere, and I've gone on the app and gone, where are you? Come on, hurry up. So no, it is good.
Fantastic.
It's got some brilliant features.
And roughly how much are they? Ish?
30 quid.
Really?
29 pounds, something like that. Yeah, really.
Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon or eBay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right, okay, we'll make sure we put those links in the description. And again, Paul Evans, I really am sorry to hear about you being broken into. I think, something like this would be a great investment.
Definitely, yeah.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
Absolute pleasure.
And your van is amazing. I'm so glad we got together. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Greg.
And I'll see you again.
Yeah, again soon. Good. Thank you. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Greg Virgoe. Well, Greg's had to rush off. After all, he is a very busy and very popular man. So let's bring back the lovely Rebecca. Hey, how you doing?
Hello, you right?
Yeah, good of you to join me again.
Yeah. Well, you know I can't get away from you, can I? Guess what?
Right.
I got given one of these.
A Greg Approves sticker. Is that for the van or for you?
I don't know. Either way, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, Greg Approves. How about that? Thank you, Greg. Okay, let's carry on with some questions for this week's Waffle on a Wednesday. Now, a lot of people comment on my Cockney accent and say they don't understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to get Rebecca to read out the questions this week. After all, she's rather posh.
I don't want to pry, Mel, but how do you fund your travels in the van? Away from the camera, do you have a 9-to-5 or a lucrative pension from your time investing in the stock market? And that question comes from Sunshine Mix 101.
Well, I wish I had a nice lucrative pension, or what was it? Stock exchange.
Stock exchange, yeah, stock market.
No, I don't dabble in the stock market. How I make a living though is purely from YouTube. this is my only form of income, making these videos for your entertainment. And another income stream that I have is my Amazon storefront. So if anybody goes to Amazon through my storefront, I then get a small commission on whatever you purchase. And I've said this before, the great thing about that is it doesn't cost you any extra, but it does make a huge difference to the little tiny bit of income that I get from Amazon. So every tiny little purchase, it all adds up, and it does help me out immensely. So thank you to everyone that shops at my Amazon storefront.
Or eBay as well.
Yeah, and occasionally I do put links to eBay, thank you for reminding me. But my main source of income is from Google AdSense, which is when you watch the adverts on my YouTube channel, and also through Amazon storefront. And let's not forget those lovely stickers.
Yeah, Buy Me a Coffee is
which
really
you can
good.
buy through Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that does buy stickers from me through Buy Me a Coffee. It really does make a huge difference, so thank you.
Okay, the next question is quite similar, and it says, did you ever do a vid on why you have to live in a van, and any ambitions with age to return to bricks? How do you support your van life? And that is from Corrigin71.
Why I have to? Did he say why I have to live in a van?
Yeah. Why do you have to live in a van? Any ambitions with age to return to bricks?
Strange question.
And how do you support your van life? So it's similar to that one.
I don't have to live in a van. I could live in a house if I so choose to, but I just choose not to live in a house. I prefer to live in my van, and by living in my van I don't need to pay rent and I don't need to have a mortgage. I choose to. It's my choice to live in a van. And as for how I fund my travels, I answered that question in the previous comment. I simply make videos for your entertainment, and my reward for that is that I earn a living from it. And you have a different way of earning a living, don't you?
Yeah,
and you're
I
working on incorporating that into your van life.
Yeah, exactly. So before I met Mel, I was already a fully qualified massage therapist, and I had a studio that I worked from. However, I've still got the studio, but
it's very professional, I've got to say.
Yeah, but I don't want to be tied down to that one area all the time now, having converted into van life. I want to now convert that treatment room into being available in the van. So yeah, that's something I'm working on, but that's my income.
In your van.
In my van, yeah. So I've got to go from being in a solid room to being in the van, and it's super easy to do that.
And it is a huge myth and misconception that most people that live in vans do so because they have to. A lot of people that live in vans do have full-time jobs or full-time occupation. There are a lot of digital nomads out there that choose to live in a van, and they make a really good living. Like our friends Julian and Heidi, for instance, from The Vast Way. Julian, you've all met before in my previous videos. He's working on an app for the van life community, and as a couple, Julian and Heidi are actually full-time wedding photographers and videographers, and they work at that full time. And the reason they live in their van, or they choose to live in their van, is because it allows them to be mobile and go to all the different venues that they attend throughout the UK, and that's why they choose to live in a van. It's not because they have to, it just works out really well for them. They, like Rebecca, have just started a YouTube channel, and because they are professional videographers, their videos are really outstanding, well worth checking out. So go check out The Vast Way, which is Julian and Heidi's channel. I'm sure they will really appreciate your support. I'll put a link down below to their channel. Have we got any van build questions in there?
We've got this one from Ian Lohar, and he says, "Hi Mel, I'm just starting out my first micro van build. It's a Ford Transit Connect. Quick question."
We love a quick question.
And that's what he says, as I know you love a quick question. What thickness ply would you recommend for the floor and sides?
For the floor, I would recommend 15mm ply. Try and get marine ply, although it's a little bit expensive. It is a little bit more hard wearing. So the floor, 15mm, and also you can screw your furniture into that and know it's not going to move, as long as you screw the 15mm ply down to the floor of your van, of course. And for the sides, I would say something like 9 or 6mm ply. It really does depend on you and what you're going to be doing, but I think 6mm ply would probably be okay for the sides as well, especially if you're going to cover it with auto carpet and all that good stuff.
And if you want to curve it as well.
Yeah, and for the curvature of your van, good point, it's a lot easier to curve. So basically 15mm for your floor, 6 or 9mm, actually no, scrap that, I'd say 6mm for the sides would be plenty strong enough. I hope that answers your question. Good luck with your van build.
Okay, next question is from Mel's best friend in Australia, David Walters.
Hi, David.
And he says, Mel, where did you get your Aboriginal art from?
Well, David, I quite often get asked what this picture is behind me. It is actually a picture of a rainbow serpent, and it was created by the famous Aboriginal artist Danny Eastwood. And to be honest with you, I actually brought this from a souvenir shop. It was just a cheap souvenir that I brought back from Australia, and I actually had this framed. The frame actually cost more than the picture. Very popular picture, sold Australian wide in any Australian souvenir shop. I'm sure if you look around you'll be able to find one, but if not, Rebecca has actually found this picture online, so if I can put a link in the description of this video where you can buy a copy of this famous painting by Danny Eastwood. Thanks for the great question, and hopefully one day we will actually get to meet. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time for this week's Troll of the Week.
Troll of the Week.
Well, this rather rude comment came from Shepster, and he says, I thought that was a bloke sitting next to you until it opened its mouth. Do I get Troll of the Week?
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. And I'll tell you why. Do I look like a bloke now? I don't think so.
I can assure you Rebecca is definitely no geezer. I'll put a link to a video up here when Rebecca goes on the beach metal detecting if you want further proof.
And I just want to thank Stephen O'Sullivan for coming to my defence. He says, well, I would suggest that if you thought Becky was a man, it's a trip to Specsavers. Or better yet, ask Mummy and Daddy to explain the birds and the bees. Which I thought was very funny.
Well done, Stephen,
So
for
thank
coming
you.
to Rebecca's rescue on that one. Right, moving swiftly on.
Yeah. Okay, Corrigan asks, it must be tiring looking for a park up every night.
Actually, no, it's not. It's part of the fun of living in a van is trying to find a park up, and usually, like today, it's a wet, rainy day, so what we will do before we leave where we're parked now, we will actually look before we move for the next park up. So what we do is usually go on Google Earth, because I need to be in Coventry for tomorrow, so before we leave now, I shall look on Google Earth for somewhere to park in Coventry, and we just go there and park up for the night. It's really simple. It's not that much of a stress, and it is all part of the fun of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and we usually plan what we're going to do as well. So if we find somewhere to park that's near something, we either plan that out, or we have found a couple of times where we found a park up late at night, and then in the morning we've discovered a beautiful town or country area that we couldn't see during the night. So it's a surprise.
Yeah, it can be a surprise. Sometimes not so good a surprise, but mostly
Generally,
it's pretty
it's been
cool.
good, yeah.
Yeah, it's never really that much of a bigger stress to find somewhere to park. And if you're thinking of living in a van and that's kind of a worry on your mind, then really it's nothing to worry about at all. Just try it for yourself. Pick any random town on Google Earth and have a look around, see if you can find somewhere suitable to park. I can bet your bottom dollar within 10 minutes you would find somewhere you can park within that town, no matter where it is. It's so easy to find somewhere to park. Thanks for the great question.
I'm worried that a 12-volt compressor fridge will be noisy, especially at night. How many times does it cycle on and off in the night? What are your views on this? Many thanks, Lee. And that's from Lee Maskery.
Well, my 12-volt compressor fridge, I don't hear it running at all. I don't even notice it running because I've become attuned to it. It's like I used to sleep right next to a railway line when I lived under a railway arch, and people would quite often say to me, how can you sleep under a railway arch with trains going past all the time? And my answer would be, what trains? Because you become accustomed to those noises and you just don't simply hear them. But that's not quite the case for Rebecca, unfortunately.
No.
Because Rebecca just stays in my van occasionally, is it? It's not, you're not
Yeah,
permanently
I'm not
in my van.
permanent at the moment.
She's a lodger.
I'm a lodger, or to some people, I'm his carer.
I do tell people that Rebecca's my carer.
Yeah, so anyway,
Much
when
to her
I...
dismay.
Yeah,
But anyway, getting back to the fridge.
When I do stay in the van, I have a different outlook on it, and I'm a light sleeper, so I don't know whether it also depends on whether you're a heavy sleeper or a light sleeper, but I do hear the fridge, and it does cycle to me approximately every hour, but that's at a guess because I do notice it doing multiple times throughout the night. It doesn't ever annoy me to the point that I get frustrated with it, but it is just something that I have to learn to zone out, and it's a bit of a white noise background. Once you are sleeping in your van for a while, you learn what are good noises and bad noises, and yeah, you just zone it out and you just go back to sleep. But a tip would be that if that is a concern, make your van build so that it's further away from your head or your bed area.
Or just switch it off at night.
Yeah, which I used to do in my camper van. I used to just unplug it during the night because it really did annoy me.
But
and
it kept you awake.
And it was louder than this one, and it was in a cupboard.
Mount it on rubber maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't think it's an issue, and I don't think there's any way round it really, other than what Rebecca just said, and that is keep the fridge as far away from your bed as possible. And maybe if you build it into a cupboard, like I have, that makes it even quieter.
Yeah.
You really don't notice it, honestly. It's nothing to worry about.
No. Thank you for the great question.
And I hope that puts your mind at rest. Now, talking about new van builds, Greg Virgoe informs me that he's actually looking for a new project. He's going to start doing a budget van build. So make sure you check out his channel. I'd like to say thank you to Greg for joining us today, and also thank you to Rebecca for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Rebecca's channel. And also, if you don't know who Greg is, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Although that is very unlikely that anyone watching this video doesn't know who Greg is. And on that note, make sure you subscribe to my channel too. I really do appreciate your support. Well, thanks for watching this video, and like I say, make sure you check out the lovely Rebecca's channel.
And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that came over and spoke to us at the Van Life Festival in Stratford-upon-Avon. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves.
We did enjoy it, yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyable.
And yeah, we'll hope to see you again sometime soon.
Ta-da for now.